Do you generally like or dislike your opponents?
Generally, I don't give a fuck.
Something that I missed when it comes to the Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford. Canelo Alvarez said he no longer has respect for Crawford.
I need y'all to get the likes up, man. Get the likes up. Smash the like button.
I don't respect him anymore because he say I'm not gonna do what they want me to do and this and that, and then he tried to. Maybe Turki told him, "Hey, you need to do something because you seem so nervous in Riyadh." So and he tried to he walking me back, and that's why I pushed him. And like I say, don't with me.
Does it bring a different Canelo then?
Yeah, it's different. Yeah, you watch Saunders fight, right?
Which one? The Saunders. Oh,
he pissed me off. He pissed me off.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be almost the same.
He said, "Don't fuck with me." Canelo Alvarez is gonna do to Terence Crawford what he has did to Billy Joe Saunders. And Canelo Alvarez, he don't like when people trash talk him, right? When Caleb Plant trash talked, called him an MFer, right? He went total ape shit on Caleb Plant. But when certain other guys like Benavidez calling him the P word, calling him the P word and all this stuff, he ain't had no smoke, right? And when Terence Crawford and Canelo was going back and forth, Terence Crawford showed him that he was the boss of the fight.
You fuck with me, so it's gonna be different. It's gonna be different for you.
I ain't scared of shit, and you gonna find that out. I walked you down when you supposed to be the bigger man, and it's gonna be different from you as well.
You mentioned one elite fighter, just one.
When I stump a mud hole in your asses, you're gonna be a nobody. You're gonna be just like everybody else. Watch, every last one of them stump a mud hole in their ass, and he gonna be next. Watch.
Canelo really didn't have that same animosity that he had towards Caleb Plant or even Triple G. Triple G didn't really say too much of nothing. Of course, Triple G was saying his little things, but Triple G wasn't really a trash talker. He could barely speak English. But Canelo Alvarez had a great disdain for Gennady Golovkin for whatever reason, right? Maybe it's because Triple G was so upset and he was very vocal about how he felt about how those fights went and the computerol and everything else that came along with it. But he said he don't got respect for Bud Crawford. Now, it could be a combination of things amongst some of the trash talk that Crawford was displaying during those press tour. It could be the fact that Turki Al-Sheikh, the guy that's running the show, is all in with Terence Bud Crawford. And that got Canelo Alvarez a little bit nervous because Canelo Alvarez is a fighter that's used to having every single thing in his favor. And you're just part of the show. Right? It's the whole Canelo Alvarez show, and you're just part of it. But now, it's not necessarily his show. Of course, he's one of the main attractions, but then we got Terence Bud Crawford. And then we got Turki Al-Sheikh, who's all in with Terence Bud Crawford. Turki Al-Sheikh is the one that's running the show, right? So Canelo Alvarez probably feel a little uncomfortable going into this September showdown with Terence Bud Crawford, not only because Terence Crawford is a great fighter, but because Canelo Alvarez may not have the political advantage that he traditionally has in boxing. Now, Canelo fans are going to come in the comment section, Black Channel, your Black Hope, right? Your bias, and all this other stuff, right? But tell me I'm lying. Canelo Alvarez he keeps bringing up little things about Turkey, right? So that leads me to believe that that's something that's lingering in his brain as he starts to prepare for this fight, that Turki Al-Sheikh is a very, and this is something that I said about Turk a while ago, that he needs to kind of hide his favoritism. When you're a guy that has that much control, that much influence on a sport like boxing, you got to kind of keep your opinions to yourself. Now, I can see if you was a promoter for a particular fighter, and that's your fighter, of course you're going to big him up. That's what promoters supposed to do. But Turki Al-Sheikh isn't necessarily a promoter. He's a guy who's kind of just running the show, right? But he shows a lot of favoritism, and that can make a lot of people feel uneasy. That can make possibly fighters feel very uneasy, right? And Canelo Alvarez is feeling uneasy, not to mention when he got face-to-face with Bud Crawford. Bud Crawford wasn't as small as he thought he was going to be, right? Terence Crawford is already starting camp. I would imagine it's pre-camp. I don't think it's full-blown camp just yet. Training, right, with Stephen Soko Nelson. Getting ready for camp, right? Get the pre-camp, then we go into camp, right? Canelo Alvarez started his preparation as well. We're going to start to see more footage and videos as the weeks go by. But, man, certain things I got to see from Canelo Alvarez to give me more, he could just beat Bud. Because the only thing I can still see at this point is that Canelo got to land a lucky punch, right? This has got to be a lucky punch. It's got to be something that Crawford makes a mistake and he just don't see coming, and boom, it kind of changes the course of the fight or potentially knocks Bud Crawford out. But I don't see Crawford making those type of mistakes in a fight of this magnitude, right? Yeah, he may get caught slipping in a fight against a guy like Mijamov or, one of these guys with a lesser name. But when you're in there with a guy like Canelo Alvarez, when you're in there with a guy like Errol Spence, you're going to be on your A game. Why? Because, these some of the top guys in the sport, and you must be on your A game when you're in the ring with these guys. Actually, you must always be on your A game when you're a top fighter, period. Because all these guys, even the guys you never heard of, right? The Mijamovs, the Mean Machines, these guys, right? They've been watching you. Yeah, everybody's not watching these guys. They're in the gym training, preparing, watching. They're not watching those guys. They've been watching you, seeing all your mistakes, all the moves you make, everything. So when they get in the ring with these guys, they come in there with a mindset like, look, man, I got everything to lose, nothing to lose, and everything to gain. And then the champion fighter go in there and take this guy for granted. Then he end up having to struggle or at the worst, he lose the fight, right? So guys like Crawford, he got to always be on his A game. Because no matter who he's going to get in the ring with, they're going to come at their absolute best. And you best believe this won't be no different for Canelo Alvarez, because Canelo Alvarez, he's smart. He knows what he's up in there against. A guy who means business, a guy who isn't intimidated, a guy who actually called for this fight, a guy who actually wanted this fight, right? But Canelo Alvarez said he don't respect Bud no more because Bud spiced things up a little bit. I mean, honestly, whether it was staged or whatever, I don't necessarily believe it was staged, but part of me do believe that somebody may have said to kind of turn things up a little bit, because both guys aren't really big talkers. Both guys ain't really trash talkers, so they had to spice it up a little bit, right? But see, Canelo Alvarez, now he feels uncomfortable because now it's not a situation to where it's like Jamel Charlo. You're fighting your biggest fan, like Charlo was a fan, right? He went to that defeat. He went to the fight with an almost defeated mindset, almost looking up at the hill, looking up at the top of the mountain at Canelo, right? Crawford, his mindset is, I'm already at the top. What's up with it? We both up here. What's up? Let's go see who gets knocked down. That's Crawford's mindset going into it. Canelo's mindset was totally different. He was more, Canelo's the best and, all this other stuff, right? So he didn't even have that same type of animosity, that same type of, like, I'm coming to get you. I'm coming to take everything you got. He didn't have that attitude at all against Canelo Alvarez. Now, Canelo Alvarez said that he's going to do to Bud Crawford, or basically along the lines that he's going to, Billy Joe Saunders did something similar, was talking a lot of trash, and then Canelo Alvarez said, well, I don't fuck around. Don't fuck with me, right? So we going to see if he brings that same energy to Terence Bud Crawford, because Terence Bud Crawford is going to step to him. Terence Bud Crawford ain't taking no steps back. Terence Bud Crawford is going to be hitting you for you making a mistake, right? So I'm interested in seeing what game plans are going to be implemented. That's the main thing that I'm interested in, is how these guys look in camp and what game plans are they working up to take towards each other into this big fight. But Canelo Alvarez no longer has respect for Crawford now. I mean, I don't know if it's genuine lack of respect for Crawford now because of this, but I think this was kind of needed. Even though the fight was going to sell regardless, I think this kind of spiced it up a little bit and got people a little bit more interested in the fight, because now there's some little trash talk. There's some things at stake, right? Okay, so he was doing all this talking like he was big and bad. All right, let's see what happens. And then it's just 10 times either better or worse, right? So things like that is needed in boxing. Canelo Alvarez is being a diva, right? Remember they used to call him a diva years ago? Canelo being a diva, he gets mad. If you talk too much shit about him, you won't get a fight at all and all this other stuff. And you be too mean to him, you may talk yourself out of a fight. And, so stuff like that you do got to worry about. But unfortunately for Canelo Alvarez, he already signed the contract to face Terence Bud Crawford. But tell me what you guys think. Canelo Alvarez said he no longer respects Bud Crawford because Terence Bud Crawford was talking shit. Like, subscribe, holla at your boy. Peace out.